In this video, I'm going to take you through the steps to create an estimated seller net sheet inside of Chicago Agent. When you first log in, it typically defaults to the buyer estimates. So you want to click on seller at the very top here, and you can begin by adding a property address. Once you've typed in that property address, it is going to look for any recorded deeds of trust and also look up the property tax information. You can choose to go ahead and use that information that it grabbed, or if you have that information on your own, you can manually enter it instead. It gives you this little cheat sheet. If it does find any deeds of trust of record that, for example, that there's a $156,000 loan that was recorded in 2012, it gives you a little cheat sheet as to what the average rate was at that time. So we'll just enter that in and it will compute. It's going to run that little amortization schedule and estimate a payoff for us. If you just know the payoff information, again, you can manually enter that also. But we're going to use this estimate. We're going to enter in our sales price and our broker compensation, whatever that happens to look like. Let's say seller's offering a concession. Here are our property taxes. Seller loan balance is pulled in, interest rate, and then we can click on this calendar and it's asking, is the seller paying both compensation and a concession? We say yes. And here's our estimated closing date. We'll make that for end of month, May. If you know when the property was last purchased or if they refinanced and title insurance was for sure issued, so if they took out a small HELOC, I would not consider that as a guarantee that title insurance was issued. You can select this short-term rate and it'll ask you for the date of that prior purchase or refinance. Does not matter what title company did that closing or issued that insurance before, we will honor our reissue rate if it falls within that window. And then that's everything on that first page. Quick and simple. I also like to come up here into this options tab where there's the gear. And this is going to give us a few extra things to take a look at and then into our closing costs. So in here, this is where it's just defaulting to owner's title policy and who's paying for that. You can select edit and change who's paying for the owner's title policy and OEC. And here's our half of our real estate closing fee. I like to use $500 for an estimate for final water in summertime. Sometimes we'll bump that up to $800. And then I have my program set to always include a release service fee and then also HOA fees. If the property doesn't have an HOA, you can just come in here, hit the red X and delete any fees related to an HOA. I just find that more efficient because more properties have HOAs than not. If you are aware of multiple liens on the property, you can bump that up. Again, at $60 per release for that release fee. And then you can add any additional fees here as well. So like if you have a transaction coordinator and or a transaction fee that you like to include here, that is a great spot to put that. So we're going to hit done. We're just going to X out of all of this, go right back. We're going to hit compute. Here we are with now our final net. And I want to show you a quick feature before we move on. So this little phone icon with the arrows, it's one of my favorite features of this entire program. If you click on it, you've got the ability to have it output multiple sales prices and multiple nets. You can adjust this by using the gear. You can change the price decreasing or increasing increments. In this market, I'm typically just showing decreasing amounts from our original purchase price. I'll hit update. Here's our little breakdown, and then this is a quick, easy way to share that. So here's what that little PDF looks like. Okay, we'll go back and X out of this. And now we're just going to go down here to share or print PDF. This is going to take us to the final output of our net sheet here. There are multiple templates here on the right-hand side that you can choose from. I tend to use the one at the top. It's just kind of a simple, easy to read black and white one. You can also go over here into customize. If you want to add your client's names in here, you can do that. And you also have the ability to change the language output on the net sheet as well. So if you have a client who speaks a different language, you can create a net sheet for them in their own language. All these different options here. Okay, quick pro tip I always like to mention, make sure you come down here to save estimate and save it. That way you can come back and make a quick change without having to rebuild the entire net sheet. Those saved net sheets will live up here in the estimates tab. And from here you can just download that net sheet or email it, and you are completely ready to go with your net sheet. I hope this overview was helpful. As always, reach out to me anytime via email or call or text if you have any questions and I can help in any way.